What is going on, fellow farmers? cjfarms here. Welcome back to another beginner's guide tutorial on FS25. Today we're going to be talking about how to get the most out of your yield in your crop. So we're going to be using this field here. This is a field that I just harvested. It had weed on it. Now I want to make something very, very clear in this tutorial. The only time that you need to use a plow or that you need to lime your field is every third harvest. Now, in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to maximize your yield, in which I will be using lime. Now, if you want to maximize your yield, I highly recommend using lime every time you prep your fields. That's how I do it. Every time I do it, I get a 100% yield bonus. Sometimes I'll get a little less than that. Just really depends on what I'm doing. But every third harvest, you will plow and lime your fields. You don't have to plow every time you prep your fields. You don't have to lime every time you prep your fields, just every third harvest. But we're going to use lime today. Now, the first thing we're going to look at is our tools we're going to have to have. We're going to have a mulcher, a cultivator. You need a lime machine, a fertilizer spreader, a planter of some sort, or a seeder, and a roller. Okay, so let's go into the store. We're going to look for our mulchers. I think I said mulchers. Did I say mulcher in the first part there? I think I did. So you're going to need a mulcher, okay? Now, if you go down to soil cultivation, go in the store and go to soil cultivation, these is all your mulchers right here. All right, you can pick any one of these. They're all good mulchers. They all work the same. These are the main two that I use right here. This is the one I'm using right now, okay? This is the one I'm using now. All right, now, for the next part, we're going to need a cultivator, okay? So if you go back into the store and you go into soil cultivation and go to cultivators, you can use any one of these cultivators right here. Now, if you happen to need a plow, okay? If you happen to need a plow, you're going to go to plows right here, and you can use any one of these. Now, this is the one that I normally use. It just, the other plows seem awkward to me. So this is the one I highly recommend getting right here. The next thing we're going to need is going to be our lime spreader and our fertilizer spreader. So we go back into the store, and I believe this is going to be under yield improvement. I believe right here, yeah. So you can use either like a fertilizer sprayer of some type like these, or you can use fertilizer spreaders. This is the ones that I use just because they have the spreading unit on the back with the arms that come down, and it seems to be a little bit better. Now you can use these, as you guys can see, you can use these for lime or fertilizer. That's why I have two. I've got one for lime, one for fertilizer. All right. Next up is going to be, you're going to need a planter of some sort, or a seeder or whatever. Okay, let's find those. So right here under seeding, you can these are your seeders right here. You can use these to plant whatever you need. These will plant canola, wheat, barley, oats, rice, peas, spinach, grass, that type of stuff. Your planters more or less plant corn, sorghum, sunflowers, soybean, sugar beets, cotton, and green beans. So that's what your planters do. That's what I'm using. And the planter I'm using is actually this one right here. This is the one I'm using. All right. And last but not least, you are going to need a roller. You're definitely going to have to roll the field after you plant. Every time you plant, you're going to have to roll the field. Now this helps with the yield bonus. Okay. So we go back to the store, and let me see if I can remember where the rollers are. Sorry about that, guys. See if I can remember where the rollers are, because there's only two rollers right here, guys. It's under yield improvements. There's only two rollers in the game. Now you can get this one right here, but I'm going to warn you, it's a big roller, and the only way to open this roller is to hit the button to open it, but then you have to back your vehicle up to get it to open. I recommend using the Vaderstad roller right here, and there's two different options for it here. You got standard and you got crossboard. So however you want to do it, but just make sure that you have those tools available. So let's get right into this. We're going to go look at the field. If I can find the field here. The field here, as you guys can see, 0% fertilized. It's been harvested and it needs to be mulched. So the first thing you're going to do to improve your yield is you're going to hop into a tractor. You're going to hook up that mulcher, whichever mulcher you got. We're going to drive up here. We're going to open this up. And the first thing you always want to do after you harvest is mulch the field. Unless it's your third harvest. then the first thing you would do is you would just have to plow. You would plow. You wouldn't need to mulch. You would just have to plow. All right. So we're gonna start mulching this field. As you guys can see, when you mulch the field, it just kind of takes that little it takes the stuff off the field, whatever you want to call it, that little sticky stuff sticking up. Looks like a bunch of little like plants sticking up out of the ground. I don't know what you want to call it, but you would have to harvest you would have to mulch the field. I'm gonna speed my guy up here a little bit. You'd have to mulch the field here, guys, and then we'll go to the next step. So I'm going to get this field mulched, ladies and gentlemen. Once we get this done, I will bring you all back into the video. All right, so once the field is mulched, it should look something like this right here, and all that little prickly stuff should be gone from your field. You want to make sure that you get the whole field. You don't want to leave anything behind because it can affect your yield, leaving that little prickly stuff behind after you harvest your stuff. So just make sure that you're getting everything in the field, and the field looks nice like that right there. See, I need to get that. And there's another spot there that I missed as well. So if you leave little prickly stuff behind, make sure that you go back and get that. Don't leave anything behind on your field. It will affect the yield of your field. Just a little food for thought. We're going to get that right there. And all these mulchers, did I get that? Well, I didn't even get it. I think I got it. But these mulchers, all these mulchers I was showing you guys, they all work the same. They all do the same thing. They just come in, different widths and but they all work exactly the same. All right, so see that? Yeah, see, we needed to get that right there. So anything that you are to leave behind, make sure that you go back and you get it. Don't leave any of that little prickly stuff on the field because, again, it will affect your yield. I think that's it for this part. We're going to go on to the next step you're going to make. The next step you're going to take is cultivating. That's the next thing you want to do. So we're going to fold this up and park it right over here. All right, we're going to hop into this tractor right here. All right, and I'll leave my help one up there, guys, so y'all can see what's going on. We're going to open this cultivator up. And I'll show you guys kind of what your field should look like when you're done. This is a field that's been fully prepped that I prepped. This is my actual farm I play on. So this is what your field should look like after you've done mulched it, after you've mulched it, after you've cultivated it, after you've limed and fertilized, planted and rolled. This is what your field should look like right here, okay? Now, as you guys can see, it's only for 50% fertilized. But after you start growing your crop and it gets to like the first growth state, you can fertilize it again, and that will put it at 100% fertilization, all right? Just a little food for thought there. So we're going to get this cultivator lined up. If I can ever do that, if I can ever get this lined up. So you're going to mulch, then you're going to cultivate, right? And then you're going to lime, then you're going to fertilize, you're going to plant, and then you're going to roll. That is how you maximize the yield on your field. If I can ever get this cultivator straightened up on this field, just make sure when you're cultivating, guys, it's always better to be over a little bit too far than not over far enough. And that goes for all implements that you have on your tractor. We're going to drop this down right here. If you do have cultivator crate fields installed, make sure that your allow crate fields is not activated because it will, mess up the other part of your field. It'll go outside the field. All right, so we're going to cultivate this field. Now, if you have fieldstone enabled, then when you start cultivating, you will have fieldstone, which is the rocks pop up into your field. I do not have it enabled. I don't mess with it. Just, selling rocks seems like a waste of time because they don't pay much anyway. It's just kind of a waste of time to mess with fieldstone, in my opinion. I don't mess with fieldstone. I don't mess with weeds. I might do a tutorial on weeds, but as far as me like having weeds on my farm, yeah, it's not going to happen. I've never messed with weeds, and I won't start doing it now. So, and the same goes for fieldstone. So I have my periodic plowing and all that stuff turned off. So if you guys, if I go into my game settings here, I'll show you what I'm talking about. Right here, I've got my crop destruction, periodic plowing, fieldstone, lime requiring weeds, and all that turned off because I don't want the game to tell me when it needs to be done. I just do it regardless. So, and like I said, again, ladies and gentlemen, you only have to plow and lime every third harvest. Now the reason I'm telling you to lime on this video is because it's part of doing your yield. And I lime every time I prep my fields, whether it's third harvest, whether it's first harvest, whatever it is. I lime every single time because it seems to help with yield, and with a lot of testing I've done, it does help. You can do it every third harvest if you want to. That's what it's required for. However, if you lime every time you prep your fields, with a lot of testing I've done, it does improve the yield in your fields. So I mean, in your crop. So, and what I mean by yield, I'll explain to you what I mean by yield. That is the plentifulness. That is the fullness of your crop. So the better you prep your fields, the more you prep your fields, the more you're going to get out of your crop. So just keep that in mind. So if you was to say if you was to cultivate and then just plant, then you're not going to get as much out of your field. You'll probably get like a 60+% yield bonus, opposed to if you do all the necessary steps like we're showing here, then you'll get like anywhere between a 97 to 100% yield bonus every single time. And that means that you get more of your crop, which means more of the crop is growing, and you're able to get more, sell more, and make more money. All right, guys, so I'm going to finish cultivating this field, and once I'm done, we'll come back in the video and talk about the next step. All right, so the field has been mulched, the field has been cultivated. We are now going to lime it, okay? Now, when it comes down to planting your crop or whatever you're going to do, that is completely up to you. You guys don't have to plant what I'm planting. I'm going to plant corn in this field, but you guys do not have to do that. It's completely up to you what you want to plant. That is completely up to you. That is your prerogative. All right, so we're going to start liming right here. And like I said, now guys, liming is not something you absolutely have to do when you prep. It's only every third harvest that you have to lime and plow. I lime every time I prep my fields because it seems to help the yield bonus. That's why I use the lime. Another way to also, guys, I wanted to mention to help your yield bonus is to have some bees somewhere close to your fields. Now, it don't have to be like right next to your fields, but you get like I gotta have bees over there on my farm right now, which I don't have any bees. But if I could have bees and I put them right over there on my farm right there, that definitely also helps the yield bonus. The bees do. So just kind of keep that in mind. There's just some things you can do here to help your yield bonus, and doing your field work, your mulching, your cultivating, your lime, your fertilizer, your planting, your rolling, and then of course having bees somewhere close to your field or on your farm. That also helps with the yield bonus. So, all right, let's go ahead and get this field limed up. Shouldn't take me too long to do it. And but I do recommend, guys, like I said, you don't have to lime every time you do a prep on a field, but I recommend doing it as it does help with the yield bonus. So you can try it without lime and see how it does, but I've tried it without lime, and my yield bonus drops like, I think it's like 5%. It drops like 5%. But when you're trying to sell crop, you're trying to make money, dropping that 5% is actually a whole lot when you're not making that extra dollar. Or however much it is extra when you're lacking on your yield bonus. So I just go ahead and do all the necessary steps every time. The only thing I don't do every time is plow. I will plow every third harvest when it's required. Then I will plow every third harvest, but I do not lime every third harvest. I lime every single time that I put. I need to get over a little bit so I don't get that on my other field there, because that field looks beautiful and I don't want to mess it up. I don't want to mess that field up. All right, guys, so we're going to finish up this lime here. There we go. We got a little bit of lime right here. Now, if you miss a few spots on your field, now this might just be my OCD, but if you miss a few spots, it is good to try and go back and get those spots. Like I said, missing those little spots like that can affect your yield bonus at times. So just try to make sure that you get, you want to make sure when you're doing lime that this field is completely covered in lime, that it's white, it's completely white. So if you're leaving little splotches here and there, make sure that you go back and get those, because that does affect your yield bonus. So just a little food for thought. I just want to teach you guys how to, get the most out of your yield here. So I think that's it for that. Now, the cool thing about putting lime down and then fertilizer afterwards is because you've got the lime on the ground. It's doing its thing. Then once you start fertilizing, it will dissolve that lime into the ground. It won't dissolve the lime completely, but it dissolves it and kind of dissolves it into the ground. All right, so I'll show you what I'm talking about here. So once I get in here, and solid fertilizer is what you're going to need for this, by the way, guys. You will need lime. Now, if you want lime, you're going to go in the store. You're going to go to yield improvements. Go to consumables. You can get your solid fertilizer here, right there. You can get your lime either in this or in this right here. I don't really care too much for these bags. This is my personal opinion. I would much rather have one of these right here. Or if you're on PC, you can get the mod called Multi-Fruit Buying Station, and that allows you to have literally everything that you need on your farm. As far as cow food, horse food, pig food, sheep food, goat food, it's all in that Multi-Fruit Buying Station. All right, so we're going to get this opened up, and we're just going to start fertilizing this. Now, I'm going to tell you, like I tell everybody, you treat your fertilizer like you can't afford it, okay? So you want to get as close to this field as you possibly can, and you're going to start putting that fertilizer on there. You don't want to spray fertilizer. You can spray it outside the field, but it's better to keep your fertilizer inside the field because, again, you want to treat that fertilizer like you can't afford it. So you want to turn it on when needed, turn it off when it's necessary. So right there, when you're done, you turn it off. So don't leave it spraying when you come off the field, because in the long run, you're going to cost yourself more money because you're going to have to buy more fertilizer because you're going to run a lot quicker, okay? So just a little food for thought there again. All right, so as you guys can see, that fertilizer is soaking this lime right down to the ground. And now you don't have to use solid fertilizer for fertilizer. You can use liquid fertilizer, you can use manure, you can use slurry. It's completely up to you how you want to do your field. All the from my experience, all the fertilizers, they all work the same. So whether you do slurry, whether you do manure, solid fertilizer, or liquid fertilizer, it's all going to work the same. It doesn't change the yield. So just keep that in mind, guys. It doesn't change the yield. So all right. And we got that. We got one little spot right here. Right there. And I think that is it. And now if we go to the tractor and look, it will say 50% fertilized. Now you want this to be 100% fertilized, right? You want this to be 100%. And the way you get it to 100% is once we plant and then we roll and we start growing our crop. Once our crop gets to like the first growth stage or second growth stage, I normally do it in the first growth stage, in the first growth state. Once it's in the first growth state, you can then fertilize again. That will give you 100% fertilization. So that's how you get to 100% fertilization. Somebody asked me that last night in my live stream. I was playing this game in my live stream, and they asked me how I got 50% fertilization. So the trick is when you're first prepping your fields, you lime. After you lime, then you fertilize. And then after your crop starts growing to the first growth state, then you fertilize again, and that will give you 100% fertilization, all right? So we're going to pull this right over here. And the next thing we're going to do is we are going to plant. We're going to go ahead and plant. So let's go ahead and get hooked up to our planter here. Now, depending on what you're using, whether you're using a planter or whether you're using a seeder or whatever, it's completely up to you. As you guys can see, I'm going to plant corn. You can change your crop like that. But I am going to do corn. All right, let's go ahead and open this up. Now, some planters and seeders, some take only seeds. Some take seeds and fertilizer, okay? So just keep that in mind. Man, I cannot drive my tractor today. I cannot drive it. I cannot get this thing straightened out to save my life. And here where I'm sitting in my office, the sunlight is like beaming in my window and in my eye right now. So it's kind of annoying, but... All right, so if you'll look right there, guys, I've got seeds and I've got fertilizer. Seeds go in the back, fertilizer goes up front, all right? So we're going to go ahead. We're going to drop this down. We're going to start planting. We're going to plant our corn. Now, again, guys, keep in mind that every time you plant, you are going to have to roll right afterwards, okay? Don't roll before, roll afterwards, because if you roll before you plant and then you plant, you're going to have to roll again. It's going to require you to roll after you plant. So just keep that in mind, guys. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to finish getting this field of corn planted. And once I'm done and we go to the next step, I will bring you all back into the video. All right, so we got our crop planted. I got my corn planted here. Whatever you guys decide to plant should be planted by now. As you guys can see there in my bottom window, in the right bottom corner right there, you guys see that where it says needs rolling? So that's what's going to happen. If you roll before you plant your crop and then you plant your crop, you're going to have to roll again. So just do the rolling is the absolute last step that you do, okay? So let's head back to our tractor here. We've got our roller in. We're going to go ahead and pull up and we're going to unfold this. I'm going to kind of show you guys what it looks like after you roll the field. And it looks pretty smooth after you roll it. Now this roller, unfortunately, guys, you cannot lift the roller up and down. Once it's down, it's down. So when you roll, you want to go straight down the field, straight off the field, turn around and come back. If you turn around the middle of your field, you're going to mess up your lines, okay? So this is kind of what it's going to look like right here when you roll. It's going to look like you just cultivated the field pretty much is what it looks like. But we are going to roll this field and this is how you maximize your yield, guys. And then once we roll, I will cut the video. We will speed time up. Now see how the roller, you cannot lift it up. You cannot lift this roller up, so you're going to have to turn straight around. You're going to have to go back to the other part of the field if we can get on there. Now, if something happens that you can't get straight back on the field, you can always fold your roller back up like this. And this is usually how I do it, so I don't leave like all kinds of crooked lines in my field. But that's just me. I have OCD too, so. But what I would do is I would back out on the field like this. And I'm going to back down here. And now I'm going to unfold it again. That way it's lined straight up on the field. And once it drops down, I am ready to go for another run here. There it goes. And you can now start rolling again. Again, guys, it's important to get every part of your field. I'm not just saying that because I have OCD. I'm one of them guys that has OCD that I have to get every part of the field. But it is important when you want to get a good yield bonus to get every part of your field, whether you're mulching, when you're cultivating, when you're liming, fertilizing, planting, rolling. You want to get every part of that field. Now see here, we actually got room to turn around and just kind of go back straight to the field, and I'm show you what I'm talking about here, guys. So once you turn around, you're going to go straight back to the field and make sure that roller is straight behind you before you roll onto that field. If you go in there crooked, you're going to have crooked lines everywhere, and the object of it, the purpose of it, I mean, is you want to have good and pretty straight lines just like this. And when you get done with your field, guys, if you do this every time you plant, you'll be so pleased with the results every single time. Not just with the yield bonus in your yield, but also with the way it makes your field look so good and so professional and so beautiful. All right, now see, we rolled straight back. And I think okay, no, we didn't. I thought we missed a part back there. But again, guys, it's important to get every single part of your field when you're doing this when you're doing field prep. It's just important to get every part of the field. That way your yield bonus is not affected. I mean, don't take my word for it. Go to a field. Just say that you're going to do your rolling and you're in the last step. Go ahead and roll like half the field and don't roll the other half and see what happens. It will affect your yield bonus. I promise you it will. It will affect your yield bonus. But when you're missing stuff in the field here and there, it's important to go back and get that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to finish. I'm going to finish rolling this field, and once I'm done, I'll just take you guys along for the ride because I don't have much left here. But now you can get the other roller. The other roller I was showing you guys to get, you can get that one, and it's a good roller to have because it's a big roller and it gets it all done in pretty much one swipe, depending on the size of your field. But the only downside to that roller is that when you go to open it up, you have to hit the button to open it, and the only way to open it is to back your vehicle up, and then it will eventually open. Now, I don't know if I can get this straight back on here or not. I probably can, like this right here. Probably do it like this, and then just make one run back down the other side, and then we'll have it done. But as you guys can see, these rollers are pretty good width. I can't remember how long this one is. I think it's like I think it's like 10 meters in width, but the other one's like 27 meters in width. So it's a pretty good size roller. And you come off the field like that, you're going to turn straight back around, and that roller is going to slide on you a little bit, so just be aware of that. All right, and we're going to finish rolling this field. And then once we roll it, we will speed the time up. I'll let the crop grow the first stage, and I'll show you guys how I fertilize it again after the first growth state. And then that will give you 100% fertilization. It should, it better. It does it for me every time. It better not mess up when I'm doing a tutorial. All right, so we got the field rolled. We've got it, we mulched it. We cultivated it. We lined it, fertilized it, planted, and then we rolled it. Okay, so I'm going to take this back up here, and we're going to speed the time up on the game. That's the plus side of having this game on PC, is there's so many cool mods for it. There's just so many cool mods. So we're going to park right here. All right, and before I speed the time up, I am going to do a save. I always do. All right, guys. So I'm going to get this corn in the first growth state, and once I get it there, I'll bring y'all back into the video. All right, so we got it in the first growth state. As you guys can see in that little window down there, it says 77 plus yield bonus, and we have a 50% fertilization on the field. Now, we're going to hop into this tractor. This is our solid fertilizer. Again, you can use solid fertilizer, liquid fertilizer, manure. You can use slurry. It's completely up to you. We're going to start fertilizing this field again. Again, you want to use that fertilizer like you absolutely cannot afford it. I don't care how much money you got. Use it like you can't afford it. Again, when you come off the fields, turn that fertilizer off. Turn it off. That way it's not, you're not wasting unnecessary fertilizer. All right, we're going to turn this back on, and we're going to go into an angle right here. Just like so. There we go. And if you will look sometimes, you can actually see the field getting damp in certain spots where you're fertilizing it. And that will kind of help you to see where you fertilize it. Also, you can do it like this. You can go into the menu here. You can go up to right here. You can go over to soil composition. And if you'll notice right here, fertilized, you will see that we are fertilizing the field here, okay? So that will tell you that if you're fertilized or not. All right, let's go ahead and turn back around this way. I kind of got confused on what side I was fertilizing here. So yeah, y'all can see the field getting damp there. See that? See it getting damp? So that's how you know what part's been fertilized and what hasn't. All right, so all we got left over here, y'all see the dry from the wet there. All we got left is this part right here. Again, you want to make sure you're getting every part of this field when you're fertilizing. No matter what you're doing in field prep, make sure you get every part of the field, because it's very important that you do so. But if you guys will look there behind me, you'll see the field getting wet as we go through. It gets a little damp as you go through. All right, so there's that. Now, I don't know if it'll say, I can't remember if it says 100% fertilization now. Yeah, so there it is. So 100+% yield bonus and 100% fertilization, guys. There it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this tractor off real quick. And I'm going to go ahead and grow this to the full growth state. Now, you don't have to fertilize again after this because you have 100% fertilization. After the first growth state, or whichever state you decide to fertilize it in, doesn't matter. You can fertilize it in the first, second, third, or fourth growth state. Once you fertilize it that second time and get that 100% fertilized, you do not have to fertilize it again. Okay, guys? So, I'm going to grow this to the ready to harvest, and I will bring you all back into the video. All right, as you guys can see, it is ready to harvest, and look at that beautiful corn. Sorry, guys, didn't mean to do that. Look at that beautiful corn, and this field over here is also ready to harvest. We did get some snow in the middle of all that time-lapsing. But that's it, guys. That's how you get the most out of your yield. Again, we'll go over it again, guys. You're going to need a mulcher. You'll need a cultivator. You're going to need a lime machine, fertilizer machine. You're going to need a planter and a roller. Now, again, let me say this. You only plow You only have to plow and lime every third harvest. However, I highly recommend liming every time you prep the field. Okay? With that being said, everyone, subscribe if you're new. Smash that like button for me. Click that bell and click all, so you never miss any future content or live streams. May Jesus shine in your heart like the brightest star. Until next time, everyone, this is CJ Farms, and one crop at a time, we are helping America grow. I will see you all in the next video.